So you found a kitten. Well, I found a kitten. But if you find a kitten, I've got some tips for you. Meet Boston. Boston arrived in my backyard a couple weeks ago now, a week and a half ago now. At first, Boston was a boy, but turns out Boston is a girl. Isn't that right? Aren't you a little girl? Yes, you are. Full of energy. Hello and welcome to my channel today. This channel is a variety channel, so it's not strictly a cat content channel. The cat content will be linked in the description. I cover a variety of topics that interest me, but today we're talking about what to do when you find a kitten, because I found a kitten. From assessing its health, to getting it comfortable, to perhaps finding it pet insurance, and so much more. So let's do it. Finding a kitten is super exciting, especially if you love kittens, and who doesn't love kittens? However, there's a lot of things that you should do immediately if you happen to find a kitten in your backyard or in a ditch, like where I found my sweet Baxter, or anywhere else. The first thing you should do is make sure that they don't have any obvious illnesses or injuries. If you find a kitten or a cat that looks injured or sick, call the vet immediately. Don't try to take care of it yourself. If the cat looks fairly healthy, or the kitten looks fairly healthy, then you can move on to different ways you can help that kitten. The next thing you want to do is determine the age of the kitten or cat that you found. And here are a couple helpful graphics that can walk you through it. I will also put links to these in the description and probably on my website, where I have started putting all of my resource and reference material. The younger the kitten is, the quicker you'll have to react and the more care the kitten will require. That goes without saying, I'm sure. I've posted a link in the description of a response tree to tell you how to proceed with your kitten depending on its age. So if you have found a kitten, you should go directly to that and bookmark it, and then come back and finish this video. You gonna attack my hair? Oh, aha! You're a good jumper. You're a good jumper. You're getting to be good at jumping. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. First, you want to immediately stabilize that cat or kitten, which means if it's cold out, bring it in and get it warm. If it's hot out, bring it in and put it in a place to get it cool. Make sure that it can get away from the heat source or the cool source so that it can adjust as needed without your assistance. You're just gonna attack me, aren't you? I'm being stalked. Oh, hey, oh, that's my skins. That's my skins, baby. That's my skins. Oh, that's my skins. The attention span of a kitten is almost non-existent. Isn't that right?
Miss Frankie's trying to tell people how to take care of kittens they find. You're being very distracting, Boston. You're being very distracting. Yes, you are. Oh, hi. Hello. Hello. Are you going to eat my notes? Are you going to eat my homework? Oh, you're so cute. Oh. Oh, okay.
The second most important thing after you assess their health and figure out if you need to take them to the vet or not is to keep them separated.
You gotta keep them separated
from your other cats. And there are a lot of reasons for that. This is very important. The main reason that you want to keep any cat or kitten that you find separated from your other cats until they can get to a vet visit is because there are a lot of diseases that can be transmitted from cats that have been outdoors to cats that are indoors. Cats carry some serious diseases, and some of them are contagious. Some of those diseases and infections include feline leukemia, which my cat Whiskey had, and I have a video here somewhere about trying to save his life. He was feline leukemia positive, which meant that all the other cats that I have in the house had to be vaccinated against it in order to prevent them from catching it. So that's one very important thing, and feline leukemia is fatal to cats. There's also something called feline infectious peritonitis, which there's actually no test for. They also might have fleas, which can spread to your cats, your other animals in the house, if you have dogs. So you want to make sure that they don't have any fleas, which if you get them to the vet immediately, you can get them their flea and tick sort of medication. There are a number of viral, bacterial, and fungal infections that your kitten could have that you really wouldn't know about. However, if they have Giardia, which is an intestinal parasite, or hookworms, you'll probably be able to tell because your kitten or cat will have a lot of diarrhea, which she had, or she still has, if your cat or kitten has diarrhea, probably definitely has a parasite of some sort. This little girl has Giardia. She's getting her medication for it now, which is a parasite. And she also has roundworms, which is also a parasite. Additionally, a kitten can have distemper, which is fairly common, especially among cats that come off of farms and stuff. And there's a chance that she came in off of a farm, because I live in a very small community surrounded by farms, and oftentimes the mama cats bring their kittens in town and drop them off for us. Sorry, I'm so distracted. She's so cute. She sits right down here. Just right down there, aren't you? Just being so cute. Just being so cute. Among the things that they can have is ringworm, which is actually not a worm and is a fungus. Can you not eat my feet? Can you not be eating my feet? That test takes a little while. Her test, I just took her to the vet, her first vet appointment yesterday, which admittedly was a little too late. I should have gotten her there sooner. And so for something like ringworm, it takes a couple days for the test to reveal a result. You're being so distracting, I can't even tell people about how to take care of things like you. Yeah, no, you're so... Look at them, look at them, look at them. Say hi. Say hi, I am Boston. Say hi, I am Boston. Make sure you give them their own room, preferably in a different building. For instance, in this case, I've got this kitten in my lady cave, which is my under construction creative space. I couldn't put it in the garage next door because that's where I'm housing 3 stray male cats who kind of live there part-time. And actually, she is very clearly one of their children. She looks just like the Sylvie cat, the first one that showed up in the garage. In any case, you got to keep them separated. Male cats could potentially kill kittens. Also, you just don't need the extra agitation on your property, probably. Another thing that your kitten could have is ringworm, and ringworm is not a worm, it's a fungus infection, and it's a fungus infection that you can also catch and that you can spread to your other pets. So for instance, with Boston here, when I come out to visit her and I touch her, I have to then wash all of my exposed skin and change my clothes before I go back in the house to interact with my own cats. And also so that I don't catch ringworm, I guess. So that's very important. And another reason why you keep them separated, you keep your clothes separated until they've had all their testing. If the kitten is very, very young, you want to be careful how much you handle it, because they can be easily stressed out, which can make them ill. And as they are kittens that don't have any vaccinations, and therefore it is very susceptible to diseases from overhandling and from exposure to other animals, which is why another reason you want to keep them separated from all your other pets. Because in addition, your household animals can be carrying bacteria and viruses that they themselves are protected against, but which a kitten is not. It's a fairly similar approach to babies, newborn babies. And then some illnesses don't present themselves until the kitten has gotten quite old, and those include things like eye, ear, and respiratory infections. In addition, a kitten can stress other cats out. As you've been able to notice, it's very distracting, very active, jumping and climbing all over everything. And if you have older pets that are ill or shy, this could cause them a lot of stress and then further impact their health. I know I've done a video recently about my Baxter and his idiopathic cystitis, which the vet and I both kind of assume and agree that it is because of he got triggered when stray cats started coming onto my property. I think that they still might trigger him. I'm hoping he becomes used to it, but he's very sensitive. And your cat might be too, and it's not a fun way to find out by introducing a very active kitten all of a sudden. That's just something to keep in mind. Kittens start coming to adoption age at about 8 weeks old. And after they've had their first distemper shot, which is one of the vaccines that a kitten will and should get before it is exposed to any other animals. So once you've found that kitten and you get it into a warm, dry place and you've assessed its health a bit, The next thing you want to do is address their various needs. So first, with food, you want to be very careful what you feed a kitten. Do not feed your kitten any cow milk or animal milk outside of cat milk or a milk that's been created for kittens. Cats should not drink milk. Despite popular media over decades showing people feeding milk to cats, cats should not drink milk unless it's from another cat. At about 2 months old, kittens will be able to feed themselves. When I talked to the vet, when I first found her, they said that if her eyes were open, then she could eat solid foods. So that's one thing to note. If the kitten you find doesn't have its eyes open, yeah, it's definitely not going to be fed like solid foods at all. And then when you feed the kitten, from the information I've looked up to a certain age, you just let them eat as much as they want to eat because they're growing and they're running around like crazy. And so they're burning off a lot of calories, so they need a lot of nutrition. Okay, so now that you've learned how to feed or not feed that kitten, and if it's a cat that you found, obviously you know how to feed a cat with regular cat food. We're just really talking about kittens today. You want to make sure that you can provide a lot of bedding and blankets to like swaddle the kitten or keep it warm and keep it calm. And it doesn't have to be a nice blanket or anything. Some of the things that I've been using are old YMCA towels, which are good because if you have a kitten that has a lot of diarrhea, which I ended up with, those are really easy to clean poop off of. I wouldn't recommend investing in any like nice bedding until after like the diarrhea issue has surpassed, because she has actually pooped on almost every piece of fabric that I have given her. If you have some boxes sitting around like I do, like Costco boxes, those are great for makeshift beds. You just throw some towels in there or some old blankets and you immediately got a cat bed, and that cat is going to be happy with it. It's not going to know that it's in a Costco box with old blankets. And then you'll want to make sure that they have plenty of fresh, cool water like you would with any cat. Water is very, very, very important to the health of a cat. Litter. You want to set up a litter box immediately. Kittens adapt to being potty trained so quickly. It's actually quite impressive. Obviously, she had a diarrhea issue, so she wasn't able to control herself, but she has been and had been using the litter box from day one. And once her belly is not full of parasites anymore, I have no doubt that she's going to be perfectly potty trained. It's very, very impressive. I had a dog once that took me over 2 years to adequately potty train. So the fact that you can get a kitten that's like 5-6 weeks old, show it a litter box, and it knows what to do is amazing. Just another reason to love cats. Not that I don't love dogs. I love dogs too, but I love cats more. So for litter, you definitely don't get anything that's got a clay base, because they clean their paws and then they ingest clay, and that's a terrible thing to put into their bellies. I personally use an antibiotic-free chick feed from like a local, like a Fleet Farm. And I learned about that when I was volunteering at the Kitty Bungalow Home for Wayward Cats in Los Angeles, where I got my 2 kittens, Corey and Siri, before moving back to the Midwest permanently. And that's what they used. And so I figured if they're using it, it's probably A, low cost, which is important for a lot of people, and probably better for them than something synthetic or something that is full of whatever is in some of the litter. It's worked for me for about 4 years now. So I highly recommend it. If your cats are flexible in what kind of litter you use, try it out. It clumps well. It filters through one of the pooper scoopers well, and it's less expensive than a big bag of litter. If you've ever tried it, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to know what people are using for litter these days that might be an alternative. Another important thing for your kitten is activities.
Isn't that right, Boston? Isn't that right? You need toys. You need to be active.
I like to provide like a stuffy or a soft toy for them to cuddle up to. In Boston's early days, I had a big stuffed bunny that I put in her bed so that she could like cuddle up to it. So it was like a mommy body replacement for her, and she used it for a couple of days and then she's not using it anymore. So it helped her through the first couple of days. And then just any little stuffy that they can play with, and then all the interactive toys that you can find. Kittens are really great. They love to play with literally anything. She was playing with a paper towel insert, like a paper towel holder thing. You want to show the internet how violent you are? Yeah. You're just trying to eat me, But make sure to give them things to do and play with for sure. So once you've gotten the kitten stabilized and safe and comfortable, you'll want to call around to your local shelters, maybe to the local vets. I wouldn't recommend the pound, but if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. And just see about options for bringing it in for adoption, or maybe even fostering it while they find it a new home, which is kind of what I'm doing now. I don't have anywhere, I don't have a shelter or anything around, and the towns around me, the big cities, won't take out of town stray cats. And so I'm sort of left on my own to try to figure out how to rehome this baby. She does have somebody who's interested in her, and she will be being delivered in a couple weeks once she's got her diarrhea problem under control. So I'm fostering Boston for now. Unfortunately, I don't get to keep her. I can't keep her, mostly because of Baxter and his health conditions, and honestly how much that costs me. I can't afford another cat. I've got 4 indoors and then 3 strays in the garage that I take care of, 3 male strays. And if you're gonna keep your kitten, I cannot stress this enough. It might sound frivolous, but if you can afford it, then you should. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you, if you can't afford it, maybe you shouldn't keep the cat, because pet care is just as expensive as like healthcare for children. I had Baxter in an emergency hospital for 24 hours. It was like $2,500 or something like that. And all they were doing was observing. That didn't include any tests. And that was the estimate they gave me to begin with. So it can be very expensive. If your kitten gets sick 6 months in and you go to the vet and then you get health insurance, they will not cover pre-existing conditions. So for instance, and I've mentioned this before with Baxter with his idiopathic cystitis, the insurance company will not cover healthcare for that issue, which means this year I've spent over $6,000 on his medical care. And that could have been prevented if I had had health insurance for him immediately when I got him as a kitten. But I didn't learn until later that how important that might be. And there's a lot of different kinds of coverage. I would suggest, if at the very minimal, coverage for accidents and things like that. I have a cat who likes to eat my bra straps and plastic and elastic. And I anticipate one day having to take him in to have something done with his stomach, because he literally eats big chunks of like bra straps and stuff. So those are the kind of things you want to get health pet insurance for, and I can't recommend it enough. I used to go with Nationwide. They have become quite expensive. So currently I am recommending to people Spot Insurance. Now this isn't a sponsorship or anything. It's just the insurance company that I've used so far. And with my Lucy, she was the first one that I had with them, and they've been so great at covering all of like her bills and things like that. I think that's all the information. If you've found a kitten, I hope that this has been helpful. If you found a kitten and want to share your found kitten story, please comment in the comments section below, or come on over to the community and hang out there. I'm not sure if you guys can post pictures, but if you can, I'd love to see pictures of any kittens that you find. It is kitten season right now, as far as like they're all turning about adoption age, it seems, because my town is full of adoptable age stray kittens. But anyway, if you found this information helpful, please leave me a comment. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I hope that you found this useful, and I hope that you return. So full of energy. Buddy, you're making lots of noises. You're making lots of noises. You're being very distracting. You're being very distracting. Yes. Being very distracting. If they get too warm, that they can move over, or if they get too cold, they can move into a warmer place.